Hi everyone, my name is Francisco Manuel Ramirez Rangel and I am a digital art student at the University of Guanajuato. I want to share with you my research project called Catharsis. This project uses virtual reality and the principles of reminiscence therapy to help people with their cognitive and emotional health. Basically, I have recreated traditional Mexican spaces in a digital world to help people remember, reflect, or find a sense of peace in their lives. The main idea behind Catharsis is that our homes are more just than buildings. They are symbolic extensions of ourselves. In Mexico, we have a very strong emotional connection to our objects and our houses. Older generations, like our grandpas, tend to keep things from a long time, and their houses are very specific layouts that many of us recognize immediately. I choose to focus especially in the years of 20s, 2010s, that was a decade of big changes in technology and society. Many young adults today are facing identity crisis or high level of stress, and I believe that going back to a familiar childhood space can help them to process these emotions. If we don't preserve these spaces digitally, we might lose an important part of our culture, and these houses are demolished or remodeled. For the visuals, I didn't just want things to look perfect. I chose a style called critical realism. Instead of using super high resolution textures that can be heavy for computers, I focus on lighting. The light is what really creates that nostalgic feeling, like a warm afternoon in a Mexican living room. I choose the objects in the house very carefully. I look at family photo albums and talk to other students to make sure that elements feel real. For example, I included an old radio that plays music and a TV that plays a show like 31 Minutos, which was very popular in Mexico during that time. These objects are like memory anchors that help people to feel like they are truly step back in time in that experience. On the technical side, I develop everything using Unity 6.3 and the Meta SDK. I use building blocks, which are like pre-made modules that help me to set up everything, the navigation and the interaction much faster. One big priority for me was performance. To avoid motion stiffness or eye strain, I made sure that the experience runs stable at 72 frames per second. I also kept the 3D models under 100K vertices so the graphics engine doesn't get overloaded. I use advanced tools like NVIDIA DLSS 3.0 and ray tracing for the shadows or make the lights look as realistic as possible. I even created special shaders to make glass in the window look like it has real depth. Also, I use a level of detail for some models like plants because it has a lot of polygons or vertices and they are too much overloading the experience. A very important part of my research is the concept of affordances. In VR, an affordance is an opportunity to action. For example, science tells us that the more things you can do in virtual space, the more present you feel, like you are actually inside the world. In Catharsis, you can move around and grab almost any object. I designed the grab system to feel natural so you can pick things from logical places and feel real weights or difficulty to pick up a big object, just like in real life. I also added a cool mechanic, or I'm working a cool mechanic that is a virtual camera that you can use to take photos of your favorite places of the house. And this camera helps you to find an item that tells you a story by an audio, an image, a video, or texture. In conclusion, for future plans, I will continue working in these mechanics, and so far the tests I've done show that the project is very effective creating safe and calm atmospheres for users. In the future, I want to create more scenarios like a typical Mexican elementary school or a public park from the same decade. My goal is to do more formal testing with questionnaires to really measure how much this helps people mental and their well-being. Thank you very much for your time and for listening to my project. Goodbye.